Hello everyone and welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. I'm Shelby and this video is going to be a bit of a chatty music video. I really don't do this kind of a video on my channel because I do think talking about this is something that would probably be better as a podcast, but I don't have one of those yet. Yet. But I really just felt like making this video. So here I am, and hopefully someone will watch it because it is basically me just shouting into the abyss that is the internet about something that has been on my mind. All right, let's talk about BTS. Yes, the group that everyone knows, whether you actually know their music or not, you have probably heard of the name. You've probably heard they are a group from South Korea. You've probably seen or heard of them in some capacity. Now, I really didn't really do anything with BTS's music up until November of 2020. I knew of BTS. I knew there were 7 members, but that's all I knew. And in 2020, I posted a video of me listening to B for the very first time. And it was my first album I had heard from BTS, other than the song Dynamite. Dynamite was the first song I had heard. But in that video, you can kind of see that I am just in a world of like, whoa, like it really surprised me. That album really surprised me. And it definitely piqued my curiosity about what is BTS all about. Long story short, it made me fall down the rabbit hole of BTS's music. And I have been in the rabbit hole and I have not left since then. So the reason why I wanted to make this video was for a couple reasons. Number one, I'm going to be listing 10 songs that I have since discovered by BTS that if you are someone that has not listened to the group before, but are intrigued or are curious to see the variety and range that they have produced so far in their career, then this list is for you. But before I talk about 10 songs, in my opinion, to get to know BTS from the perspective of someone who listens to so much music in so many different genres, I first want to talk about why I have such respect for them in the industry, and then also talk about why I'm getting actually a little annoyed with the American media. I don't want to say media as a whole, but like American radio stations and the Grammys of just not taking them seriously enough or kind of sort of using them a little bit. I'm going to say it. All in all, why am I making this video? I want to break down BTS a little bit more because I am someone who on my channel, I listen to so many different artists. It's all over the board. I listen to a lot of different music and a lot of different musicians, and I love all these different styles of music. And ever since I have given BTS a fair chance, they are very high on my list of groups or musicians that I have been listening to, and I kind of want to reveal why. I have 5 bullet points, very vague bullet points, as to why I have been loving and enjoying BTS as a group. So let's start with that. Number 1, I already mentioned earlier when I was talking, and that is the variety of genres. Now, I have not listened to everything the group has released because they have been together since 2013, and I definitely have not tapped into anything prior to 2016 and only barely 2016, mainly 2017 and on is what I have listened from. But as you can see from the title of this YouTube channel, it's called Shelby Shuffle Mode, and I love all different sorts of genres of music. And BTS definitely is not like just a pop group. And I definitely was guilty of thinking that, but that is so far from the truth. They really do explore and dabble with lots of different genres. There is just so much variety within each album, and there's variety within what each member brings to the table. I'll talk about that a little bit more as to one of the points why I like the group. But yes, I love how they explore with many different genres. The second thing that I really do enjoy about them, and this is more so, I think, something that people generally think about groups that come out of South Korea, and that is they do contribute to the music and having a say in their image. I do think that not just in South Korean groups, but in boy bands of the past, you think you're talking like early days Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, New Kids on the Block, even One Direction, there's always this fear of, do they have a say in how they are being? Do they have a say in their image, or are they just in a machine? And I definitely have found out through some not heavy researching, but light curiosity researching that no, the members of BTS, especially as their popularity has increased, like I definitely think they do collaborate and work together and have a huge say in what they are producing and creating as a group. And the different members, once again, bring certain things to the table. And I really admire that. My third point, speaking of boy bands past, that I appreciate about this group is historically boy groups or boy bands that are successful don't stay together this long. BTS has figured out that you can remain in a group that has reached a level of success that hardly any other group has ever reached, and you can still grow within the group and pursue solo projects. Like, wow, what a mind-blowing concept that I don't think Western artists really care to explore as much. Now, that is something that I think might happen in other South Korean groups too, where they can stay in the group but also do solo projects. I'm pretty sure I don't know a whole lot about the whole South Korean music scene, but what a concept. What a concept. They are still together after 8 years this year, while other members within the group, they have solo songs on albums with members. And I think that that's a great move to do, especially when you have so many members. It lets each person showcase their own style and such. But some have released full-on mixtapes as soloists, and there's not a problem with it. Like, they can release their solo stuff. And in fact, the members will support them in that. So I really love that. I love that they are able to maintain doing both things at once. Fourth point, the songs are banging regardless of genre. The songs are just freaking good. They make me happy, they make me want to dance, or they can make me sad. Most of the time, I don't even feel the need to know what the songs are about because I just really enjoy the melodies, the harmonies, and the production and picking apart like who's singing when. 80% of the songs that I listen to from BTS, I truly have no idea what they are about, but I still just really enjoy listening to them. And I think that's amazing. It proves that language shouldn't be a barrier in music. Good music is good music regardless of language and whether or not you understand it. It's a lovely idea that should be embraced more by more people, I would say. And then finally, my fifth thing that I appreciate about this group is the level of dedication to the art of performance. They are wonderful, wonderful live entertainers. I think it is just so enjoyable and just cardio wise astounding how well they can still sing or rap while dancing. And then they obviously, so many performances, there's like a spectacle around it and effects and all that stuff. So it's just so freaking entertaining, and I appreciate it greatly. Now we're going to get into why I am frustrated by not all American media, but why I am frustrated by how many of the radio stations and say the Grammy Awards have treated BTS because I don't think it's a good look. Not at all. I really don't. First of all, let's just talk about the Grammys. The Grammys were enough of a hot mess this year as is. I mean, we need to talk like The Weeknd didn't get nominated for anything, and that alone tells you that things are seriously flawed over there right now, and they really need to like reconsider what they're all about. But they used BTS so obviously and like so obviously, regardless if you are aware of or a fan of BTS's music, you know that they are mega popular. You know that they have the fandom called Army. And the Grammys basically like nominated them for a category, one singular category that doesn't even get aired during the prime time broadcasts. Okay, like there's problem number one because they did that while also promoting them heavily and saying like BTS at the Grammys and letting them perform, but making them the very last performer of the Grammys. Like the very last performer because they knew it would keep their audience and their fan base watching the show. It just felt all so dirty to me. It felt like you basically nominated them for something that you nominated them in a category that wasn't broadcasted, yet you wanted them to be a performer to help with your ratings. But it definitely felt like they were just using them and not respecting them as artists and what they have brought to the table over and over. That combined with like The Weeknd getting snubbed, combined with some other artists I felt like that should have been nominated in some major categories that weren't. It all felt very dirty, and it felt like this is the reason why, like, it just felt like, would they have done this if if they were a group from a country that wasn't South Korea? I don't know. I basically felt like if they didn't have that level of popularity, the Grammys wouldn't have ever touched them. They wouldn't have ever touched them, even if like they literally didn't care about the music or what they had brought to the industry, but they just cared about they're a big name with probably the biggest fan base in the world. Let's use the crap out of them for promos and give them a performance because it'll help with our ratings, and that's all we care about. It just felt wrong. It all felt very wrong. Another thing that I have found recently, now that I have become more aware of BTS in the music scene, is I don't think US radio is kind to them at all. US radio doesn't play them enough for their singles that are clearly meant to be radio pop singles that undeniably are great radio pop singles. But it's not only do I think they don't play them enough, I feel like they have some great singles that were released in the past year. Black Swan, On, that could have been awesome on radio here, like truly awesome on radio here. But there's a lot of Korean in them. Therefore, they didn't get the airtime. And I find that so frustrating because it goes back to like language shouldn't be a barrier when it comes to good pop radio music, yet it was. And secondly, recently BTS released a single called Butter and is their second all English single. And they have been doing promo as one does. They are doing promo for their single. And granted, most of the time, radio DJ interviews, like at commercial radio stations in the US, they aren't, super in-depth sort of interviews by any means. But I just felt like, and I haven't watched all of them, but I felt like the ones I did briefly watch or see, they just were bothering me because the way they approached the group, I just feel like they still weren't taking them that seriously. But I'm like, these guys, they are the music industry at this point. Like they truly have been around the block more than once. They've been doing this since 2013 and they know what they're doing and they are very talented professionals. And I just don't feel like that level of respect is or was being given because maybe they haven't cracked mainstream US radio as consistently as they have literally like everywhere else across the world. It just wasn't settling well with me, and I just feel bad. Like, it made me feel bad because I'm like, I really hope they don't think that this is what everyone in the US thinks of them, because it's really not the case. Without making this video too long, now I'm going to run through 10 songs in no particular order that I would encourage you to maybe try out or listen, or at least pick a couple of them from the list, to give a chance if you have not heard anything by them. And I tried picking songs that showed a lot of variety because they do really explore different genres or different styles in their music. So here we go. First, let's start with from their album B, and it is Disease or Dis-ease. I'm not sure the best way to say it, but I think this is a wonderful, wonderful song that everyone should check out because there are so many music shifts, music transitions, lots of twists and turns and surprises, and it definitely feels very authentic, like this is BTS. Another one is Black Swan. This is a song that I think is a very beautiful single that's kind of got hip hop vibes, but also very dainty music elements to it that once again feels very true to BTS. And I think it would have done wonderful on American radio if it wasn't mainly in Korean, which really bums me out. And that is the same with the next song, On. On is a very powerful, in your face, like great workout song. Feels like you can take on the world. That once again, musically, I think would have done amazing on US radio. But once again, too much Korean for the people, which is so silly. If you're looking for a true pop song, and this one actually features Halsey, that is Boy with Love. It makes me feel good. It is poppy. It is peppy. It is more of like a classic boy band vibe, which I am all about. Number 5 is a totally different vibe, and this is a solo song by the member Suga, and that is Trivia Seesaw. Once again, it is mainly in Korean, but the vibe of the music and his style of rapping and melodic rap singing in it, I think is so cool, so chill. It's definitely something that I could see a wide variety of people listening to. This is another solo song at number 6 by V, and it is definitely neo soul, and that is Singularity. Once again, it is sung by V, and I would put it right up there with like any kind of R&B playlist I have. Actually, it is on my R&B playlist with Daniel Caesar and Frank Ocean and The Weeknd. It is a mood. That is the best way to describe it. And it is completely in Korean, but I think it is so cool and moody. It is unlike pretty much any other BTS song I have heard. So definitely give that one a listen if you are into like soul or R&B. Serendipity is another song, solo song by Jimin, and it has his beautiful vocals. It's a very tender, sweet love song. And if you like, emotional, just truly emotional vocals, but just musically, it's all very airy and beautiful. Give that one a listen. I think it's so pretty. Number 8 is a totally different vibe from Serendipity, and that is Louder Than Bombs. And I put Louder Than Bombs on here because it's a group song and their vocals are more wispy and there's a lot of harmonies happening, and it's definitely kind of more of a darker vibe for a song. And it just once again shows the wide range of variety that they have from song to song in the group. I'm including this song on here just because it was the song that really caught my attention when I was listening to B for the first time, that really made me be like, I want to see what they're all about, and that is Telepathy. But Telepathy is funky. It's groovy, it's funky. I was not expecting it at all, and it really kind of caught my attention like, okay, what else do these fellas do? Because I was not expecting this at all. And then finally, I want to include this song, and that is the song they just released, Butter, because Butter is a fun summer song that is all it is meant to be. It is definitely more of a boy band feel, which I think is totally appropriate for them to throw in. It is totally lighthearted. They have some fun references, like pop culture-esque references in it. And it just makes you want to dance. And that's exactly what it is supposed to do. So those are some songs that you can go and discover with some brief descriptions from BTS if you have not heard anything by them. Bottom line is, if you were to go through their catalog, maybe unless you listen to country music, I guarantee you're going to find a song in there musically and melodically that you would thoroughly enjoy. I guarantee it. And that is why they deserve, and I hope for them, they seem to work very hard and they want to really break the barriers when it comes to language and music. I hope they keep on keeping on and keep doing what they're doing because I enjoy it and many other people enjoy it. I hope they can be the change that breaks down the barrier for other artists from all over the world being able to share their music on a global scale regardless of language. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments about all of this. This was a very chatty video that I just felt like doing because it's truly like kind of changed my whole approach and thinking when it comes to music. Let me know in the comments what songs you like by them or any thoughts you may have on any of the points I made. Let's just have a nice, positive and introspective discussion in the comments about some of this stuff. I would definitely love to read through that and talk to you all. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it until the very end of the video. And until next time, bye.